Huh. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. This one is gonna be rough. So Cry Macho is the new Clint Eastwood movie, and that had me really excited. I really enjoy what he does, and I've been really impressed with everything that he's done in the past. And ever since Gran Torino came out back in 2008, I thought for sure that was going to be his swan song. Had he chosen to retire then, that would have been probably the perfect movie for him to go out on. But he clearly loves the craft, as he's directed 10 movies since then and starred in 3. 4 if you count his uncredited cameo in American Sniper. And all of that is very impressive. Shit, he's 91 years old now. If anyone has earned the right to retire, it's Clint Eastwood. And right up to The Mule, I was super excited to always see him in a new starring role. That on top of the fact that I really like the work that he does behind the camera. He's got a very laid-back style. You can tell that it's a Clint Eastwood movie. So when I saw that he was directing and starring in yet another movie, well, I was curious to say the least. Well, it's finally happened. I finally think that it is time for Clint Eastwood to hang up his hat and ride off into the sunset. Because Cry Macho, well loaded with potential, simply doesn't deliver anything except awkward laughs and eye rolls. The movie is about Mike Milo, played by Eastwood, who heads down to Mexico to find and escort back a 13-year-old boy who is the son of an old acquaintance of his who he is indebted to. So, on a very basic level, it's a road trip movie with Clint and this kid. They ultimately end up spending the better part of the movie in this small little Mexican town where the story tries to sell us on the idea of Mike falling in love with this bartender. And it's just, I mean, it feels like regarding that this character had to have been written with someone younger in mind, right? I'm not saying that senior folks can't fall in love, but here it's forced and awkward, and Clint shuffling along at a snail's pace doesn't help anything. The movie has strong Western influences for sure. Mike is a cowboy, and he does what cowboys do best. He cooks fried chicken, and he sleeps in the dirt. My only concern is that he's 91 years old. Will he be able to get back up? It shouldn't be one of those things that you think about, but you do, especially with an actor at Clint's age. He was a cowboy. He had his time. And I want him, more than anyone, to continue to have his time. But time is a cruel bitch. Mike used to be this hotshot rodeo pro, and that's fine, but even rodeo pros get old. That being stated, do not try and convince me that when this retiree gets up on this wild Mustang and the horse starts going crazy, that he would be able to hold on and perform as well as Mike does in this movie. It's all set up with these wide shots so we can't see the obvious stuntman sitting in for Clint, and then it's cut together with these close-ups of Clint, who's probably on a mechanical bull set on the lowest setting. It's painstakingly obvious, and it's one of the many awkward laughing moments that I mentioned. The movie's also riddled with conveniences so the story can just, continue to happen. The very first time we see it, the cops are breaking up this cockfighting ring, and Mike just sort of slowly slinks behind these conveniently placed boxes. Then the camera fades out and then fades back in to give us the sense of the passage of time. The cops are gone, and Mike steps out from behind the box. Really? Are you trying to tell me that the police would not have looked behind a box 2 feet from the entrance to the arena? BS. And there are just more and more nonsensical things like that that just help pad the plot and move it along. It just feels shoddy and lazy. Like, I get it. I don't expect Clint to make a daring escape. I guess this is the downfall of casting yourself in your own movie. And the actor playing the little Mexican boy, he was atrocious. Just bad acting. And I think in this instance, it's where Clint's directing style actually ended up biting him in the ass. I've heard, yet can't confirm, that the way that he directs a scene is that unless an actor completely screws up a line, Clint's just gonna go with the first take and move on. I used to respect and think that that was a great way to make movies, but not when your actors are this bad. The character just feels like an absolutely exaggerated stereotype of a Mexican kid. And it comes across cartoony. I'm pretty sure that's not what the screenwriter had in mind. And let's not forget about the absolutely award-winning performance from the actress who plays the kid's mom. She gets to throw her weight around like some big badass Mexican boss, and she then gets to completely throw herself at Clint because he's, the leading man. I'm sorry, but what? Yeah, okay, sure. At least Mike had the common sense to walk away from that situation. Too bad Clint didn't have the same common sense and walk away from this movie. I can't do it. I can't end a review of a Clint Eastwood movie on a down note. Okay, it has some very beautiful shots, especially in the opening of the movie. Just these gorgeous, wide landscape shots that really do capture the beauty of Texas and Mexico. And there's a rooster. The kid has his pet rooster, the one that he uses in the cockfights. His inclusion was cute, and there are a handful of scenes that sort of made the movie feel like Any Which Way You Can and Any Which Way But Loose. And that was fun. A movie about just Clint and that rooster. Sign me up for that movie. Although it would just be Clint in a retirement home with the rooster. But still, that sounds more entertaining and well put together than this movie. If you've seen the trailer, then you've heard Clint say the line, "This macho thing is overrated," etc. It's actually a great monologue. Unfortunately, it feels like the entire movie was built around the idea of just getting to the point in the story where that line can be delivered, and then they put the entire monologue in the trailer anyway. I don't know. Wow. Okay. Ooh. One last thing. It feels like an old-timey movie at certain points. A bad old-timey movie, but an old-timey movie nonetheless. And I couldn't help but think, even though this looks like any other movie shot today, the way the camera moves, the way the actors act and move kind of felt like a 1940s, 1950s movie, and maybe that was intentional. So there you go. If you like old-timey movies, or at least old-timey feeling movies, you might like this, but I doubt it. Cry Macho gets a 4 out of 10 because it had some pretty shots, the rooster was cool, and I respect Clint for trying. There you go. Oh man, what a letdown. So what about you? Have you seen Cry Macho? Or better yet, what's your favorite Clint Eastwood movie? For me, when it comes to him acting, it's anything except Cry Macho. And in terms of directing, I gotta go with Mystic River. So what about you? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one.